EP.4 Lunch Break Fun at the Canteen. The school bell rang with a loud ding-dong. It was finally time for the best part of the day, lunch. Tim and Boss jumped up from their desks and zoomed toward the canteen. The hallway was filled with the sound of running feet and happy chatter. "I'm so hungry I could eat a mountain of food," Boss shouted, waving his arms in the air. Tim laughed and adjusted his backpack. "Me too. Let's get to the front of the line." Inside the canteen, it was very busy and smelled wonderful. Tabitha and Tina stood in the long line, looking at the big menus on the wall. "I think I want the egg noodles today," Tabitha said, tapping her chin as she thought. Tina nodded and pointed toward the steaming pots. "The noodles smell great, but look at the crispy fried chicken Tim is getting. Everything looks so delicious." Delilah joined them, holding a bright blue tray. She had already picked her favorite meal. "Look, I got the special fried rice with extra peas," she said proudly. Tabitha leaned over to see. "That looks so colorful, Delilah. Now we just need to find Tim and Boss so we can all sit together." The girls looked around the sea of students, trying to find a clear spot. Tim and Tina navigated through the rows of long tables. Tim was carefully balancing a plate of golden brown fried chicken. "It's so crowded today," Tina said, scanning the room for any empty chairs. Everyone must have been extra hungry. Tim held his plate tight. "Don't worry, Tina. If we keep looking, we'll find a place for the whole gang." Suddenly, two familiar faces appeared near the basil chicken stall. It was their older friends, Pecan and Yaxet. They were tall and always knew where the best food was. "Hey guys," Pecan called out with a big wave. Yaxet smiled and looked at the menu. "We were just about to order the spicy basil chicken rice. It's the canteen's best dish." Another older friend, Pepalis, walked over to join them. He was already holding a tray with a steaming bowl of rice. Boss ran up to him, his eyes wide. "Are you getting the basil chicken too, Palis?" Boss asked. Pepalis nodded and patted Boss on the shoulder. "Of course, it gives us energy for afternoon classes. Do you guys have a table yet?" Tim and Pecan spotted a long table right in the middle of the canteen. "Look, over there," Tim shouted. They both hurried over to claim the spots before anyone else could. Pecan helped Tim put his fried chicken down safely. "This is perfect," Pecan said. "Now there is plenty of room for all 8 of us to sit and talk." Soon, everyone was settled. Delilah and Boss were sitting side by side, enjoying their meals. Delilah took a big scoop of her fried rice. "This is the yummiest lunch ever," she muffled through a mouthful. Boss was too busy crunching on a piece of chicken to reply, but he gave a big, enthusiastic nod that made Delilah giggle. At the other end of the table, Yaxet and Pepalis were enjoying their basil chicken rice. The aroma of fresh basil and garlic drifted across the table. "I'm glad we all found each other," Yaxet said, taking a bite. Pepalis nodded and took a sip of his cold water. "Lunch is always better when you share it with your friends, even if we are in different grades." As the lunch break came to an end, the friends cleared their trays together. Tabitha and Tina walked toward the tray return station, feeling full and happy. "That was so much fun," Tabitha whispered. Tina smiled and looked at her friends. "I can't wait for the next break. School is great, but lunchtime with friends is the best adventure of all."